Tide pick is really nice. I like the Centaur band from Entity, and the Tide is like the second best option. I do disagree with the Slark band. I think that's kind of unnecessary since this new Tide, with this new shard, you can just leash the Slark. So surprisingly, that matchup is not even that bad. The lane can get a bit hard for Tide, but if you get full lane and you get to your shard, they have A to burst him. Let's see what Entity came up with. They had this Luna. That's a nice matchup for Luna, this Luna against Tide. And it kind of makes their draft complete for Entity. I'm a bit worried that their only initiation is Pango roll, and like Gabi can only connect on a Pango roll, and like the stun for puck is somewhat non-existent. It's like a roll into blink on the puck, so that might be a problem.
I was hoping they were going to go for a TA there, actually, so they'd have that extra silence. And because the problem I have right now with like this Luna pick is you're going to want to buy Satanic, right? But you're playing versus, you know, Ancient Apparition, so you can't really use it. You can't really dodge it either if you are a Luna. So a little bit of a bold choice here, I think, from Watson.
Oh, the TA was banned.
Oh, was it banned? All right, then maybe
Also,
that's why they didn't pick it.
also, Luna versus CK, I feel like CK is very happy playing into that because his illusions just tank the Eclipse, right?
True.
I mean, you can kill them with your glaives later on, but you do need time to get there, and if you're going into the late game as Entity, you have 0 solutions for this puck, so you don't want to go into the late game. You want to play on your early Luna timing, 5-man, maybe play their Aura, get a Roche, and try to end as early as you can, but it feels like a tall order versus Virtus.pro's picks right now.
Yeah, I want to see what the build on Luna is going to be, because Shiro, he plays a bit of a different Luna than others. He tends to put multiple points in Lucent Beam, which would threaten a kill on Tidehunter. He goes through the gates and ganks the enemy carry, so I want to see if it's going to be this farming Luna 1-4-4 build, or if he's going to start to play much more active early on and get stuff done.
Well, if you want to find out what kind of build Luna's going to have, we have to watch the game being played out. Before we do that, though, we are going to head over to Tsunami, who's going to have a couple of words from the coach, G.
Thank you, that's right. I'm standing by with G of Virtus.pro. G, I'm kind of curious what the mood is with your players, because I feel like every time I talk to F&G, he seems surprised that he won again. At a certain point, you guys just got to accept, you're pretty good at Dota right now.
I'm most surprised that games are so fast these days, you know?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, like, when's the last time we even saw a 60-minute game? It seems like it's been forever. What's going on right now? How about this game? What's your expectations?
Another fast game, I hope.
You guys ready to stay here all night? Then let's get it started with game number 2.
Yeah, fast game indeed, that game one. We'll see if we do indeed get another one of those here in game 2. VP versus Entity, game 2, just about ready to hop into the action. Fog, what do you sort of make of the change-ups in the draft this time? Do you think Entity's got a bit of a better shot? It's definitely going to be a bit of a different timing compared to the morph that they're going for this time round.
Yeah.
Rallying around this last pick of the Luna.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to go for a much more early rounded draft, and also for me, it feels like this one should be very, very kill and chaotic kind of thing. Like, there's so much team fight coming out, honestly, from both sides. Entity probably having a bit more because it's just overwhelming with Warlock, Dawn, Pango, and everything too. But I think we're in for a treat. I think this one should be quite active. I say that, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, with the way the games have been going today, you know, who knows?
Gabby?
Some early action here around the bouncy room. Won't be able to get any further grab onto Gabby. He'll be able to step away from this one. I mean, so overall, are you preferring one of the 2 drafts here in this game too? I mean, so overall, are you preferring one of the 2 drafts here in this game too?
The Luna is a little bit of that concern. Just
sure.
The matchup, the CK versus the Luna is a little bit of that concern, just because the Luna versus the A, like they're mentioning toward the end, and then the literal 0 stuns, really reliable stuns for a puck, is a concern. So slightly favoring VPs, but Entity, they've got a very good way of being able to fight early, setting that tempo and responding to a lot of these ganks. So I've really been liking Dawn as well too. They do have a really good tri-core that can scale if they do get off to a good start into those later stages too. Only slightly, I would say, I would be. I'd love to see how these lanes go.
And in particular, right, Squadix last game, as you were saying, had an incredible time on his Pango, didn't die much at all. This time round on the puck, the potential for a similar sort of performance from him?
Absolutely. Yeah, he definitely has free reign. There's literally nothing really he has to watch out for these stuns. Yeah, should have a really, really good game. And the lane as well too is pretty nice for a puck, in particular versus that Pango. Should be able to get some good. So yeah, the Luna pick though, you know, this is a pretty old school kind of pick to deal with the Tidehunter. No, a lot of the other heroes were banned out, so Watson wanting to play with this. That's also not only just good in the lane, but also fits well with that tempo style that they're looking for. Well, let's see, because also, you know, they've gotten back to, I would say, earlier in this tournament, even going back to a Warlock, a hero that's actually just been untouched in these last few days.
I mean, why is that? What is it? Just sort of other supports rising up in favorability over the Warlock in most cases?
I think most people, I think the lane is starting to be pretty difficult for a Warlock, and you're also incredibly immobile. You're literally one of the most immobile heroes in Dota, so if people are just like pulling you around the map constantly, it can be very, very problematic. And yeah, you don't really provide an actual, you know, disable or anything like that. You just provide that big team to back up your team.
So far, looking at these side lanes, I mean, what is sort of to be expected out of them? Who's going to struggle the most in this early game?
Ooh, struggle the most. It's going to be someone bottom, I'd imagine. I'm not sure who, though, because right now Notice is he's kind of standing his own, and he does have the point in Kraken, so he might be okay. Maybe just like one of these supports or something like that. I think the cores overall should be pretty okay. The Dawn, maybe? I guess the Dawn top lane is a bit of a struggle, as yeah, he does get brought down.
I'll be able to get him there. First blood for Kiritych.
It's always tough to really slow down CK. He does go for the very aggressive Reality Rift point. I've seen a lot of players go for the level 2 Chaos Strike, but since he has AA, he goes for instant aggression, so...
Yeah, one of those classic kill lanes that do it.
Yeah. Sometimes the Willow is able to dissuade that a little bit there, but the Dawn, I mean, you heard Saberlight saying in particular, this is one of those matchups that he does not like to play very much. DK in lane.
There's only so much you can really do offensively against the CK, right? Kiritych is always going to have that sustain.
Yeah.
Not easy to drop sort of aggressive spells on towards him. Maybe they find FNG, they can try farming again. Gabby is going to get caught. On that cold feet proc, a lot of damage coming down onto him. He's prepared with the sayuw, but
good thing he brought that.
Not an easy time trading with these two.
Oh, careful. Chilling touch. Ooh. Does get hit, loses quite a bit of that effectiveness.
It's looking to be a pretty easy lane for the CK.
Yep.
It's been many a time with this hero. One of the reasons why he can grab it up nice and early in the drafts.
And Watson's lane, it should be fine. The Tides is going to start getting slowed. But does have, of course, he does go for that Kraken Shell point, so he's able to get some dispels and stuff onto the Fatal Bonds. But 2 points now, up on that Lunar Blessing, to get some good damage to at least zone noticed.
Mid lane continues to be very even here between Squadix and Stormstormer. The action around these 4-minute runes.
We're getting a move here from sayuw. He's playing around toward bottom. Rune, who's going to get it? Stormstormer will be able to pick that one up.
Indeed, at least be able to have that bottom one secured for him by sayuw's positioning. Themselves not sending any further members over towards that mid lane right now. Top lane goes being popped here by FNG. Maybe seeing if they can try for another attempt onto Gabby.
They've got another blood grenade at the ready too, so if Gabby's not dangerous. Kataomi will get a side pull, so should be able to done a decent amount of XP here.
Trying best to hold the lane in a position that won't give the opportunity for VP to set up with these two.
And that'll be nice. That'll be really, really nice here for Gabby. Under the wave. Should be able to keep it. It's going to push a little bit out, but nice farm. Notice now starting to kind of cut the wave, and he's actually putting the second point into this Kraken Shell. Something you don't see too often nowadays on these Tides, but versus this lane, he just wants to sit down here versus the Luna, so definitely stand. Yeah, even opting away from pointing Gush at all. Gabby.
They're gonna not quite be able to get the drag back this time round, so Gabby manages to walk it off. Another wave coming in towards him under the tower. And the best here on this top lane despite that early death.
And, I mean, look at Fishman. It looks like he's trying to make some type of aggressive move here with 2 points in upheaval. Watson's already gotten, I mean, he's got level 4, so he's just kind of hitting some jungle creeps for the time being. Does open up the movements for sayuw, where now he can just leave his Tidehunter completely alone as soon as they do scout this out. Kiritych.
They're getting aggressive on towards him. And they go with a swing of the hammer, bringing Kiritych down low.
He got the stun, though, before the Starbreaker stun connects.
He's going to be able to get back under his tower. Kataomi trying to do that final bit of damage here. The Fatal Bonds bringing Kiritych down low. That doesn't look to be enough to take him down, though. Kiritych will survive the attempt.
Good stun. If he gets hit from the Starbreaker stun, he's likely to go down there, but is able to get that instant disrupt.
Still sticking around with the 3 of them top here. Entity. FNG steps up.
Ramble,
it's not going to catch him. His way around it. We'll still have the hit from the Shadow round, though, so FNG, he'll still fall. Entity with the 3 of them, they'll get the kill. Same time down bottom.
Nice move.
Rotation from Stormstormer coming in with the Rolling Thunder. Look at bring down Notice. The back of a sayuw, but only so much a Pugna can do. As Notice, he'll fall. Entity finding a couple of kills up and down the map.
Very nice rotations. I mean, they're the first ones to make the hit.
Kiritych. He's stepping back in. There's still the 3 of them around here, Entity. He'll have the back of a Squadix who'll look for a rotation top on the puck. By the looks of it, wasn't even needed. Kiritych pretty much taking down Fishman on his own. He chases out the Warlock.
Squadix will not get his bottle filled. He was attempting there from FNG. It's Kiritych. He comes back and kind of full heals. I think he got like, what, 2 or 3 cast strikes? So back up to a very healthy point here. So he can stick himself up here.
So some of the stacks going here around the Ancients. Wisdom Rune. Close early game. And Stormstormer will be incredibly active, trying to sort of mirror what we've seen from Squadix in that last game on his Pango.
I like
a lot of action. Already 7 minutes in. Immediate smoke up with Fishman. They're going to look to make another play top.
I love it. Even without Rolling Thunder, I like that he's looking to make these moves to apply pressure here. The 2 of them here, it's definitely pretty difficult to get the CK.
It's here.
Wrong. 10.
Catch vision of him soon under the ward.
Rolling Thunder and this Dawn, they should be able to have him.
When the shield crashes, is going to be any sort of backup coming in for Kiritych? It doesn't look like it. It's being left on his own. Fishman trying to look for the body blocks, and indeed Kiritych is struggling to get away from these 3. Rolling Thunder's back up. They'll be able to take down the CKs. VP not able to put any sort of response in play there and just let Kiritych go down.
Nicely done. And they're even setting up for the power rune too, so Kataomi, he'll be able to deny that one away from the puck. He'll be able to get Stormstormer with an invis, and they'll even get the whole tower. Meanwhile, bottom, they do get the tower as well too, as Notice has been left completely on his own with the Luna jungling. So trades back and forth. Very even early game. First 8 minutes.
Gabby and Stormstorm. Let me see if they can go again onto Kiritych.
To be active.
He's just come back to lane. They're going to go straight for him with the combo. He's got the Phantasm.
Nice
Managed to get it off. Turns the Gale over towards Stormstormer.
He could be in trouble.
Taking heavy hits here from the Phantasm. So the Guardian coming in.
He dies.
The dies there on the swashbuckle out. Stormstormer getting punished as VP turn. The setup here with the Dream Coil, the Squadix should manage to ensure that they get a couple of kills out of this. Jumps in with the Waning Rift. VP, they'll take out the 2.
Oh, that was so sick. I mean, little individual plays, but honestly, Kiritych, Phantasm dodging the Starbreaker that time, and then honestly a little bit of RNG, but Chaos Strike at the end there. They try to make an aggressive move, and actually hurts quite a lot, because now that Dawn ult is on cooldown as well. Full armlet already for the CK.
Yeah, unlikely to be able to make that sort of play again with just the 2. They'll definitely need the 3rd hero ready on the offensive if they want to try and tackle Kiritych.
But Watson, of course, he'll be like, all right, guys, good job. He's gone for the full farm build. You know, that they were contemplating on the panel which route he's going to go for. It is looking like it's going to be 1-4-4 Mask of Madness, just all about just getting his timings.
Gabby.
Now, coming out.
They've got eyes on him here. VP stepping position. Opens up onto Gabby.
Ice Blast at the ready, but not going to be able to throw it out.
Too speedy here with the phase boots and the pick pop. Entity themselves, maybe seeing if they could have noticed whilst clean up a camp, but noticed he's playing it safe.
They should almost not like always have kill potential, but if they do have one of these combinations of either a Rolling Thunder or like an Eclipse when the beam levels do come out on Watson, should have good kill threat onto this Tidehunter if he does step up too far when they have those.
Try and go for this play. Top by looks of it again. See if they can go for Gabby. Get this Stormbreaker.
Oh, he's far off the coil.
The coil set up, the blast on point. It's a quick and easy one.
More than enough. Hey, pick. It's going to have a lot of merit this game versus this Dawn and versus this Luna.
Always going to be difficult for Gabby when he's shown on the waves, even if it's as close as it is to that tower. Those 2 ults, they'll do that every time in this early game.
It's likely to get popped. So we're seeing, I mean, it's really the reason why we're seeing sayuw get so popular at this tournament in particular. So good versus most cores. Stormer. Good momentum onto mid here for a second. He's got the siege wave. sayuw will slow down the push. A good glyph.
On fortification, I mean, Virtus Pro, they do have Ravage to play with. I mean, Notice wants to turn up and hold these towers. He's going to have a pretty good time at doing
cool, like Stormstormer though, pushing his limits because he knows, you know, Coil in particular is down, and that's probably the biggest risk of him going for that type of play and hitting tower there.
I mean, and we're seeing with this smoke as pretty much as soon as it's going to be back up, Squadix is going to be in position to drop it again. Just under 10 indeed, until the Dream Coil's back in play.
And him and FNG likely have kill threat onto pretty much anybody they find with that Spell Lamp and Ice Blast.
You saw these sort of moves work out excellently for VP in the first.
Shows himself. They want that big kill. Swash on cooldown, 3 seconds.
Up the Coil. TPs are going to start coming in, but there's nothing to be able to be done to save this poor old Pango. Storm's come out in an instant.
He could also just be dead.
They've got the Ravage. Is he going to be able to clip Fishman off to the side of it? Gabby's out.
And Kataomi?
They've lost the two of them. I mean, there's no fight to be had here now for Entity. Watson's turned up, but they do not get aggressive against the 5 of VP. VP chasing them down. That's up for a TP out here on the Dark Willow. He'll make it out of there. VP getting these kills and just not getting punished at all for it.
Oh, in fact, that's 2 times now that these two are pairing, right? They're trying to help each other out, but they actually just get the lead at the AA blast. It's going to prevent any healing. It's always going to be able to get those setups. Mid, Stormstormer is respawning. Can't quite push. Get noted.
Fishman's hit the 6 now. We'll at least have the Golem ready to drop down into the next team fight that VP bring towards them.
But quite a bit of space so far here for VP. These last 2 moves have been perfect. Actually, all 3, right? The last 3 coils in particular have kind of landed quite nicely. And it's going to be back up in 15 seconds.
4 of them. Looking around the mid lane. Stormstormer is considering starting something here, but VP, they've got numbers already turning with the Silas and the blast onto Kataomi. Kataomi's gone.
And this is a roll, and he's just got to disengage the hasted puck. They're still looking for more Watson.
He's also close by. Squadix.
Back.
I'm going to look to drop it onto the Luna. I mean, I'm more than happy with just finding the quick, easy kill against the Willow, taking over this area of the map, pushing down the tier 1. I maybe even look towards the top lane. They know Gabby's out here. Gabby's got to be careful how he gets out of this position.
They may even look to set up perhaps for Wisdom Rune. 40 seconds until they've got down available. There's also a stack on that left side too, so VP, very aggressive moves in these last 5 minutes or so.
They're getting the lead even quicker than they did in game 1 this time round. We're just, 13 minutes in. 4K lead for Versus Pro.
4K lead, Echo, and a arm already finished up on the Seekai. It's much easier for Kiritych to get involved in this game early too. He could look to go join his team pretty much now. He's ready to fight. While for Watson, he needs a lot more time to be able to try to help out these problems that are going around the map.
Absolutely, despite the fact he's won the same, the nature of the 2 heroes.
Exactly. He's an 1200 HP Luna with a Mask of Madness compared to a CK who just wants to battle. The Fusel is finished up for Stormstormer. It's gotten delayed a lot. I mean, 14 minutes, still pretty decent timing, but with these last 2 deaths, could have come out much sooner. We'll be able to get their Wisdom Rune though, Kataomi, so doesn't go away.
Entity. They do want to try and make something happen with the 2 supports in Stormstormer. They've obviously got their ults. They'll even maybe no. Okay, Watson was just passing by. He's not going to be part of this move. It's just going to be down to the 3 of them: Stormstormer, Kataomi, and Fishman, to make something happen with these ultimates.
Let's see what they find too. I mean, ideal is of course finding Kiritych. I mean, if they run into the puck, if his orb is down, perhaps they can get him. But
it's hard to catch.
Very difficult kill to find.
It might have to be some sort of Golem drop into Rolling Thunder. But even if you do that, you're actually locking him down long enough.
He probably won't.
Probably not.
No, and he's out. He breaks the smoke.
It's just not the hero they want to be going for.
No, it's just not easy. Not easy for them to set up ganks. And not easy for them to really pose threats onto these towers early on either. The Luna, of course, not wanting to turn up, while on the side of VP, they can look to turn up for towers. They have Pugna Blast, they have the Meteor Hammers constantly too, so they can whittle these towers down slowly during this downtime. Yeah, the lead growing and growing.
How do Entity find some sort of action? I mean, it feels like, despite the fact that they want to be looking for it, they're probably their best efforts at finding a fight is just going to be turning around one that VP bring to them. They've got to be prepared, they've got to set up, indeed, for that turnaround potential off the back of maybe a whiffed ult from VP. Perhaps the Squadix jumps in, misses the Dream Coil, or a Ravage doesn't come in time. Then there might be the situation for Entity to turn and take the team fight themselves.
Definitely complicated until they do have like a Blink Dagger or something like that on Stormstormer to start to fight themselves. The counter initiation is likely has to happen. I mean, Kiritych is literally just having, he's not getting any pressure whatsoever. I mean, Watson isn't either, of course, but you can see the cores on the side of VP just getting that little bit more as the time builds up. Now, even FNG, I mean, he's getting his space. His Midas is starting to get queued up.
Just farming these areas of the map over on Entity's half as well. VP not allowing Entity to get a whole lot. The team out at these moments.
They're denying quite a bit, yeah. 3 to 8, but they're doing some significant economical damage with these last few moves. And smoked up, they've got everything at the ready. I believe a blink finished up on squad.
I'm going to coil into a Ravage into an Ice Blast. Somebody's going to die on Entity.
Anybody, yeah. Here comes one of them.
The Ice Blast. They'll look for Fishman. They won't need to drop much at all for him. It's the Ice Blast really being expended. Dream Coil and Ravage still there, good to go.
It's just complicated for the usual situations when there's a Dawn in the game, but it's when these moves happen, it's like a Dawn ult is able to come in time or anything like that, but the heroes are just dead. They're immediately just getting exploded, and even if not, I mean, the Ice Blast is going to be able to prevent any healing, so it's just complicated for Entity, it feels like, in these next few moments. VP getting away with murder. And yeah, the tower pressure, it's starting to build up too with that gradual push of the hammer and Pugnablast.
Gabby.
Squad X, he's got an Arcane Rune. Looking for a target. Gabby will be able to get away. Watson also quickly TPing up.
Just don't really have a hero on Entity that can safely sit underneath these towers. I mean, whoever does whilst the wave's getting pushed in underneath them, unless they have the numbers on Entity, VP, they won't be afraid to dive.
And Stormstormer, he's found.
And he's very dead.
See you later.
Coil and an Ice Blast will pretty much do the job every single time on any of the heroes that Entity have right now.
They're just getting away with everything. It really just feels like they're making every single move, and it's very limited for the side of Entity of who wants to start and make a move themselves. They don't have a blink on this Pango. He's gone for the Shard this game. The Dawn, who's having a good game either, trying to start fights. Usually not a hero that starts fights anyway, but VP so far making it look easy. Although Watts still keeping up with the farm. That's the important thing, and he's got his Shard finished up now too.
It's just going to be a question of how impactful will this Luna feel when Watson turns up with the Manta and the BKB. As you can imagine, as soon as that BKB is done, highly likely the Entity, they're going to have to try and get the Luna involved.
Yeah, and is he going to be able to withstand and sustain in any way when there's going to be those Ice Blasts that connect on him?
They'll drop a Golem here. They really want FNG.
We'll get him. The Bedlam Golem, I haven't seen that one before.
I mean, it costs Fishman his life in return. They'll get sayuw as well, so Entity able to take the two supports out in that sort of situation. The question is if they can get out. Squad X is in with the silence. They'll drop the Ravage here happily to take Stormstormer out. So we're 2 for 2. I mean, definitely seeing the tough position Entity feel that they are in, just dropping the Golem in that sort of situation. They try and force something. It gets them something, but they still lose the bigger kills.
At least he's going to cut a wave. Seeing Fishman using his Golem up top, he is going to be able to cut the top wave, so get a little bit of farm.
Oh, and the coil.
Coil catches.
Squad X, I mean, he's happy to drop his ults for kills here and there. As VP, they've got that sort of a lead. They don't need to rely on holding the ults to guarantee themselves kills right now. They're that far ahead.
And they're getting a Roche out of it, too. I mean, Entity, they get a little trigger happy, just really wanting to go for a type of kill, but quickly it gets thrown right back into their face. VP, quick to respond.
And they could get a lot done with this push off the back of an Aegis.
Yep. He has full BKB.
How are they going to kill the CK?
How are they going to kill the CK? I mean, they can kill maybe the Phantasm Illusion, but killing him in particular, very complicated. They don't have an AA, right? That's the thing. Like, if they had an AA, perhaps there would be that extra thing so they can't sustain or anything like that. But
and they just don't have that. They don't have that way to lead into the fights.
Nope.
It really is just. I mean, obviously the Blink Dagger is not even coming out on Stormstormer right with his build. But the Diffuser is going to bash it, and the Ags, they're just not going to have that jump to start things.
Definitely complicated for Watson, even though he is keeping up in farm. Just how well is he going to be able to do just in that matchup versus CK with the A blast with all the backup, and versus a Puck who has literally nothing to deal with. Again, Squad X, last game, flawless performance. Pango 4-0-5 on the Puck. This one, see it coming.
They're going to come out with the smoke, but still with the way that the Golem was dropped before, it's still on cooldown. 40 seconds without the Golem.
Okay.
And they really do need everything they can get Entity to have a chance of turning a team fight.
This is BKB CK also on the front line here. And he did just hit 15, so actually his Phantasm is quite a bit tankier too.
And VP, they're just going to go for the Tormentor.
Okay.
If Entity can put a stop to this, the BKB is out already from Kiritych. I mean, Stormstormer's gone in with the Rolling Thunder. Gabby leads it with the Solar Guardian, but Kiritych just steps up and absolutely rips apart.
Big blast.
Ice Blast coming in with a great connection onto pretty much the entire Stormstormer goes down. Double kill for Kiritych. He's ready to look for the cleanup here. Diving into the tower, looking towards Watson. Triple kill for Kiritych. He's even able to toggle. He doesn't even go down the once here. CK surviving, keeping the Aegis intact. Kataomi will manage to TP away. But this game, I mean, we heard from G at the start, he wanted another fast one. This one, and ironically, this is a fast one by the looks of it, Fog. 21 minutes in, 12k lead, Virtus Pro crushing Entity so far.
Crushing everything, and it's a pretty cool looking jump that comes out there too from Pango, but they're just too tanky. They just withstand it. They have the pipe.
Kiritych after that fight as well.
Huge.
4,000 gold in the bank. He can pretty much buy whatever he wants. Still have the blink queued up. Might just be tempted to finish off the heart now with how rich he is. And at that point, if he gets this heart done, there's nothing that's going to be taking CK down.
And even like Watson, his BKB wasn't even ready there for that fight. But even if it was, likely to just die as FNG lands one of the better Ice Blasts from across the map. It hits all 4 of them as they're trying to retreat. And in the meantime, he's still stacking too, actually. I'm looking at FNG. He's got stacks at the ready. Also, just keep boosting Kiritych up. Secondary Tormentor now for them too. I mean, everything is just going in their favor.
Yeah, they're making this one look pretty easy here, Virtus Pro.
Yep. I mean, the heart, it's pretty much going to stop already for Kiritych. And might not even be able to kill those Phantasms anymore. Now that he's got the 15 talent and a heart, pretty much done. The supports are starting to surpass Stormstormer now on the Pango.
And they really are. No, you're absolutely right about that. It's very close to hitting that bottom 3 net worth spot on the Pangolier. Quite the difference from Squadix performance in game 1.
Yep.
Fortunately, Stormstormer having a rough one.
I mean, Squadix has just had his number, right? Every time. Feels like he's gotten like a coil silence onto him 2 or 3 times at the ideal moments in the game when Entity wanted to try to be able to get a little bit of an advantage, but this never was the case. Kiritych, I mean, we've seen that now like 4 or 5 times where he just walks at this poor Warlock and just disintegrates him.
It's definitely going to be one of the more insane item timings on a CK, and we've seen a lot of it. At this point, 23 minutes in, 16.5k net worth, heart complete on top of the armlet, BKB, Echo Saber.
And they're just forcing things now at this
terrifying.
point. In tier 2, they can't pop the glyph because I mean, they actually are going to pop it. I mean, this is the high ground glyph, so see if VP looks to punish since they used that one early.
VP on the hunt. Smoke up and
Kiritych is probably saying, guys, they used high ground glyph. Like, we can probably look to poke a little bit here.
Still got a minute on the Aegis.
Yep, they've got Pugna, they've got Hammer too, so.
I mean, even if they didn't have the Aegis, I don't think they're going to be too scared of approaching the high ground with how farm they are.
I mean, that glyph, every time I see those tier 2 glyphs when you're at this disadvantage,
it's got to be careful.
It's dangerous. Tower's dropping quick.
If anyone gets caught by the rift here of the CK, they will die in an instant. Squadix leading in. Ice Blast is going to get the hit onto Fishman. He should be fine, but still being held back in the fountain. 24 minutes in, and VP there on the verge of taking the barracks here. Fortification comes out. Smoke up from Entities. They're trying to get in position for the high ground defense.
And BKB Watson, this is an attempt here to strike. He's looking for the flank around. Still into Aegis 30 seconds though, and the Rax is gone.
It's just so hard for them to start a fight. If they step in with one sort of footstep into the wrong position, but noticed he's going to be responding with a Ravage, and suddenly the whole combo is going to come crashing down to Entity. It's just seemingly impossible for them to enter into any sort of battle with VP.
And VP's not even giving them any opportunities either. They just back right up, go back to farming, and look at FNG.
He's AFK.
He almost has a Hex.
He's living the life. He doesn't even need to be anywhere close. I mean, he's been doing so much with the Ice Blast alone.
Yep.
He can happily farm wherever he wants. Get this, definitely one of the faster Hex timings we'll see on an AA done.
Yeah, I mean, Panel was saying that it's Entity who has to try to get a fast Hex to deal with this puck, right? But it's actually going to be FNG.
Just another thing really for Stormstormer to have to worry about.
Absolutely. Watson just not a position where you want to be on this Luna now. You know, 4,000 behind or so from the CK. Very vulnerable. Has to have his team kind of rallied behind him at this point, right? VP. They're ready for any fight that comes to them. On to the next tier 2. Still no glyphs available for quite some time.
Is that what the Hex pretty much done? Yeah, just 300 go. And that Hex will be there on FNG.
He's like, let me mine it. Thank you. You guys can take the farm now. Just kidding, it's mine. Yeah, wow. I mean, it's pre-30 minutes. Another building to fall. Onto the high ground they go.
They don't need no Aegis to push here, VP. I mean, last game we saw them sort of take it safe back off, wait for Roche timers. This game, they've got that much of a lead that I don't think they'll be needing to wait for anything. They're in with the push. Tier 3 tower starting to 4. That's the 26 minutes in on FNG's AA.
Insane how fast. And Towers drops. Squad X even looking for an... He can kind of waltz in like this. That's how much freedom the puck has. He can just walk in, start hitting the range Marek bottom while his team also takes up mid.
I mean, who goes in on Entity? I mean,
the Ravage.
They're going to get a jump unnoticed. He's in with the Ravage, catches Gabby. Gabby's out of the game, no buyback for him. The Stormstormer will roll up, heads over towards the tide. Kiritych just pulls in Fishman, focuses the Warlock. A couple more hits. Fishman will actually manage to walk away from this one, but damage is just not coming out from Entity. VP, they're perfectly fine to continue to push in beyond the barracks, force Entity back to the fountain. Kiritych is able to continue to beat down onto the barracks.
Can't even hurt them.
Entity can't do anything.
They get the connection on Squad X actually with absolutely everything, but he just gets glimmered and then just gets completely pumped back up from sayuw all the way back to full HP.
That's the mid set of racks completely taken down.
That's pretty much all their ults besides the Dawn.
Phantasm's ready to go. It's VP, they'll stick around, they'll keep the push going onto this top tier 3. It's a tough one here for Entity. Able to put up at least a bit of a fight in game 1, but this game 2, really feeling like there's nothing they can do in this one, Fog.
No hope whatsoever as VP. Look at how cautious they're being. They back up together just in case. Heroes are responding. There's not even ults up for most of them, not even a BKB on the Luna, and they still play kind of careful. A high ground, waiting for that opportune moment to strike again. Push soon on the horizon. It's going to be a bit longer spawn, 2 minutes. But Entity maybe feeling like they just have to kind of like smoke out and look for a fight or something. It's just, I mean, it feels very desperate at this.
They need everything to have a chance, and once again, Golem's still on cooldown. We've got to wait 70 seconds for that.
I mean, even then, like, how do you kill the CK? Has 4,400 HP with the Vindicator's axe.
He is not dying here, Kiritych.
Truly does not feel like it. Ravage back up in 40 seconds. VP. Close it out.
Watson. Stepping up, he's going to get Dream Code immediately. Trying to get his way out of it, but the Hex and Ice Blast that comes in, it's going to bring him incredibly low.
He's just gone.
He's out of the game. Watson goes down, has to buy back straight away. See outside of the base, Stormstormer and Gabby trying to get some sort of the BKB, but Kiritych just turns and is easily able to trade back towards him. Now they might be able to have a chance of focusing the CK. Kiritych walking it off, get defensively decrept by sayuw, and he's able to reset and get back in. Kiritych turns back with the Rift and the stun over towards Gabby. Double kill for Squad X. They're just cleaning things up at Virtus Pro. Triple kill for Squad X on the puck. As Entity, they'll continue to throw buybacks into this action, but they're just not killing anybody.
They're so good at just resetting. Honestly, now sayuw in this one, 4 stabs and saves onto Kiritych when it looked like perhaps he could maybe go down there. Again and again, they just bail him out of any potential threat. As Watson, this is the last hurrah, the smoke to wrap around.
It really is. Likely to
be so fragile, and he reveals himself on a sentry. Squad X is just in.
And then just the Dagon burst already bring him down. Incredibly low. Squad X is able to jump forward. Watson tries to turn a Honeybell with the Raptor. Indeed, this game's over. This series is done. GG well played is called. Virtus Pro knocking Entity out of the competition. 2-0 here today.
Well, G got what he wanted in this one. That's for sure.
This was a quick one.
This was an absolute dominant game from absolutely everywhere, right? Like every single thing seemed to go absolutely perfect. Kiritych 10-1 and 5. Squad X. We expected to have an incredible game, but 8-0 and 8, it seemingly made no mistakes.
I mean, this was, some crazy stuff. I mean, for Entity, they had